Let's do this. The 5-minute book review, episode 1. First book up for review, Chuck Klosterman's Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, his 2003 follow-up to Fargo Rock City. SD and CP follows the standard Klosterman formula, i.e. a dozen or so short essays showcasing the highs and lows of popular culture set against his life experiences, which range from comedically depressing to comedically tragic, but always entertaining. Coin toss to start, and the winner is Curtis Anderson. Here we are, 5-minute book review, episode 1. The first book, of course, being Chuck Klosterman's Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. It's no secret I'm a huge fan of Chuck Klosterman. I think his work is genius, but it's the usual Chuck Klosterman. It's a bunch of random essays in book form, which you can't beat. But what I really love about this book is I think kind of what it represents past the book itself. I mean, he never actually says it out loud, but we're so programmed to, not sweat the small things, but he really goes the other way, and that really is, to me, what life is about, because not everybody survives like plane crashes and stuff and gets to rework their life around this big experience that changes their life. For most of us, it's like, how are you going to react to people cutting you off in line at the donut shop? Stuff like that. That's the daily thing that molds you into who you are, and he really is the champion of that, and that's what I really love about this book. Other than that, I mean, you got, it runs the gambit. It talks about celebrities, his dislike for Coldplay, his dislike for Kid Rock, and all in all, this is one of his best books.
Well, I can't disagree with his dislike of Coldplay, but I guess first and foremost, it's important for me on behalf of the staff of Shaw and staff of McNally Robinson, really the people of Saskatoon. Curtis, I encourage you to get a haircut virtually immediately. I can't deny that I'm not a fan of Chuck Klosterman too. I enjoy his books greatly. Not so sure I'm a fan of his new fiction book, but his other 4 entries into the nonfiction world have been pretty good. I do find him a bit disconcerting because he does tend to jump topic to topic quite often. I mean, I guess we're all guilty of that to an extent, but I'm not completely sure sometimes what his thesis is. I enjoyed greatly his essay on Empire Strikes Back being sort of the definitive movie of Generation X. I enjoyed that stuff greatly, but there's moments when I'm reading his work that I feel like, you know what, I'd like to know a bit more about where we're going with this. I get halfway through a book and I kind of wonder, what am I actually reading here? Where are we going with this? What is the point? But maybe that's just me.
Hey, surprise, surprise, Ian Goodwillie. Huge fan of the Star Wars franchise. Should have seen that coming a long time ago. That was probably my least favorite excerpt in this whole book. I like the one about serial killers and how his Fred may or may not have danced with a serial killer, and for him, he could not get past that, and for her, it was just a non-issue. But for Chuck Klosterman, a female friend of his may have slow danced with a serial killer. I mean, it set almost his life to a whole different path. He could not get past it, and I love that. I mean, that was probably my favorite story. Never read his fiction.
I can't disagree. I mean, the serial killer excerpt, that was quite a read, but I mean, I guess that kind of proves the point of what I'm talking about there. I mean, one essay is talking about Star Wars and Generation X, the next one he's talking about serial killers. The general thesis, the through line for all of this stuff seems to be Generation X, but another big one seems to be just the concept of the through line of Fargo, North Dakota. And I mean, really, how much can you read about Fargo? It's Fargo. Didn't they say it all in the movie?
Alright, Ian, let's do this. Okay, I like this better than his first outing. I mean, I was a big fan of the 80s heavy metal, but I found his first one, what was it called? His first book that was all about 80s heavy metal. I found that kind of a tough read. It's probably on here. Wow, we've done our research.
Yeah, Fargo Rock City.
There it is.
Yeah, we know. We're big fans. What can we say?
Yeah, we're big fans of books. However, Killing Yourself to Live, the book after this, was by far my favorite. That's actually my favorite book in the whole wide world. I read it probably every 3 months. It's like, this is Big Brother. Ian?
No, I gotta admit, love this book too. Enjoyed it. I think I actually liked it better than the one you liked, but you know what? To me, they're all roughly the same concept over and over again.
You've got a different version of this though, because yours has like a look ahead for his fictional book, which I've yet to pick up, because I love him. He's my Chuck Klosterman. However, I don't really look to him for fiction. No. I need his biting satirical comments, not fiction.
Agreed. He's a non-fiction author. I'm not sure. I have read the fiction book, and it is, for all intents and purposes, it's just his same non-fiction essays strung together in a line of fiction.
All right, read this book, yes or no, Ian? I say yes.
Oh, yes, definitely.